Welcome to Library Line, your connection to the Conneaut community. I'm Kathy Pape, Executive Director of the library and your host for Library Line. Hey, check this place out. We're not at the library today. We are at Conneaut's Train Museum, and I gotta tell you, I have not been here since second grade, probably, and we walked in this morning, and we've been looking around. It's taken us a while to actually start filming because there's so much to see, and you know, Conneaut is really all about trains. I mean, when somebody thinks about Conneaut, don't you think about trains and the rich history that comes along with that? We really want to highlight that today and show you all around this beautiful museum and also show you how the library has all of that information on trains. We're really excited about today's show, and I hope that you just stayed tuned throughout the show to see everything that we have to offer and the Train Museum has to offer. We will have a spotlight on the community with Ron Brundy. He's the curator here, and he's very excited to show us around, and he's going to highlight some parts of the collection that he wants you to see. He'd also like to have you see those in person, so we will tell you all about the hours and where to find this place if you don't already know. Plus, we will have Kids Corner right here at the Train Museum with Steph and Pam. We will also have a weird and wacky Conneaut history. You know Vicky's going to find something about trains, right? We'll have Kat and Kathy at the movies. And of course, up first, as always, is Here's How with Cindy Prather.
Hi everyone, I'm Cindy, Tech Services here at the Conneaut Public Library. On this train episode of Here's How, I asked people to give me the best train impression. So here's how a train sounds.
Bum, bum, bum.
Woo, woo. Choo, choo. Choo, choo.
Woo, woo.
Choo, choo.
Hoo, 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 hoo. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Choo choo.
Woo, woo. Okay. Woo, woo.
Choo choo. Choo. Woo woo. Choo choo.
Woo, woo. Woo, woo.
Woo woo. Now, you don't want to.
Mailmen don't make train sounds, Cindy.
Hey Ron, how are you?
Morning, Kathy. Welcome to the Conneaut Railroad Museum.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having us.
And,
hey everybody, this is Ron Brundy. You're the curator here?
I'm the present president of the Conneaut Railroad Museum.
Okay.
And take a few minutes here, and we'll show you around what some of the highlights of our museum here in Conneaut.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you.
The museum is a 1902 New York Central passenger train station. The last time that it was used was, according to the boards up here, was back in 1962.
Oh.
Was the last passenger train for here. And we got the other board on the top over here shows that the nickel plate had one. had their passenger train station up here on Mill Street.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
most of that's already been demolished and removed and stuff like that.
Which is too bad because the whole building in itself,
Oh,
with,
yeah,
you know,
it's a
without all the
wonderful-
artifacts, is really cool.
I know.
Yeah.
And that. But like I say, we have lucky enough that Conneaut is a railroad town. We've had the Nickel Plate Railroad. We had New York Central. We got the Bessemer Railroad, which is now Bessemer is now part of Canadian National.
Okay.
The Nickel Plate got bought out by Norfolk and Western, then changed over to Norfolk and Southern with the last merger there. The Lakeshore Michigan Southern was originally out the tracks here, which changed to New York Central, which went to Penn Central, to Conrail, and now is all part of CSX, the chassis
Wow.
system.
That's a lot. And you know, really the train business is alive and well, right? Because everybody
yes.
in Conneaut knows those trains are
They're
rolling.
always going. We got an average of about 72 trains a day.
Are you kidding
just
me?
On these tracks here from CSX.
Wow. Wow.
This
Okay.
is definitely a train area.
I love it. I love it.
And thankfully, these ones here move through town so fast enough that we don't have to worry about staying that long at the crossings.
That's
like
true.
Everybody knows what
Conneaut.
Norfolk and
Yeah.
Southern, until we got the underpass in. Yeah.
I know. We hear that all the time, right? That was a big turning point in
Biggest thing.
Conneaut.
Oh, yes.
All right, what do we
Some of the
have?
artifacts here, one of the biggest things that we've got is this long 6-foot mother of pearl.
That's
the
beautiful.
backdrop there is the Colorado Rockies.
Oh
And
my.
Colorado Springs.
Oh
and
my.
that. From what we've been able to determine, originally they made 50 of those, and they took off so well they made it up to 100, but they didn't produce any more than 100 from what I was told. Been able to find out so far.
Wow. Okay.
And we're lucky enough that we have one of them here in Conneaut.
So is that part of your job too, to research everything that's in here and know what's going on behind
I don't
it?
research everything. I get different things. Different people tell me a lot about stuff. That's one thing nice about, we get all these older people that have worked the railroads
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Because myself, I'm not a railroader, but both my grandparents were.
Yeah,
Both of them
yeah.
worked for Nickel Plate and that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that. Like I said, the other nice piece here is the Artists Guild went ahead and did a reproduction off the smaller version down here
Oh,
at
I
the bottom.
see it there. Yeah.
And that. But I mean, they did an excellent job.
Wow.
Before Route 7 was even thought of.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's amazing.
And the iron bridge that they're going to tear down either this year or next year down there on Old Mill is a wooden bridge in this picture.
Yeah, yeah, very
So you can see where
interesting.
it went from wooden bridges to the steel structures, and then we got the concrete prefab stuff now that we're building nowadays.
Right, right, right. Wow, that's huge. That's awesome.
But everything that everybody sees here in this museum has been donated to the museum by somebody.
So if somebody has something at home, this is the best place for it, right?
Right. If you got something at home, like I said, we're always looking for pictures that have names that go
Okay.
with the pictures.
Okay.
Like I said, we got steam engine over here, and luckily they've got all 7 people in there are named.
Yeah, and that is important. That's wonderful.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's one of the ways the library can really kind of work hand in hand with the Railroad Museum if we share this information that comes back
Right,
and forth.
And,
Wonderful.
like I said, we get stuff here. People want to donate stuff sometimes, and if it doesn't fit in this museum, we'll send it across the tracks, to the other side,
historical.
society, 'cause
We'll have to
maybe
visit that
something
too.
it may benefit them too.
Absolutely. Oh, I love this. We have way more to look at because you probably want to go on the other side.
We're going to the other side, but we're going to take one more thing here, right over here by the doorway. Everybody knows that nowadays, all this would cause. This is a picture of the ladies from the Roundhouse.
Oh, the ladies of the
Ladies from the
Roundhouse.
Roundhouse.
I hope
Back
Cindy
dur-
can get
back
that.
During World War II, the ladies went ahead and worked the Roundhouse while the guys were off at World War II, fighting.
Are you kidding me?
No,
That's super
and
cool.
Then on the next page right to that is the notice they got when the guys came back. They were no longer qualified to do the job that they've been doing.
Yeah, no longer qualified. Yeah,
And
that's
that.
great. That's great.
So,
That's history for you.
That is history.
Wow. Hey, that's awesome. I can't believe a movie hasn't been made about that yet.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's great. Okay, now are we ready to go
Now
the
we're
other
ready to go
side?
the other side.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, back inside here, we have different train schedules and stuff like that from most of the train traffic that was around the United States and that. There's one from the Lakeshore, Michigan Southern, and at New York Central, Erie, Lackawanna. Like I said, they've got just about covers.
So people like could donate these too?
They can donate just about anything railroad related. Like say over in this one here, we have nickel plate china from
nickel plate china
from inside the passenger cars, or inside the dining cars, I should say, on the passenger trains.
Bet you that's a nice collectible item.
Oh, it's a very expensive hobby. Very expensive. There are a few people in Conneaut that have managed to amass a few pieces, and that.
Wow. I know. I'll be on the lookout for it now.
Well, I got one gentleman on the east side over there that's collecting a set for his daughters. He's got one set for each one.
Really? That's pretty cool.
And,
wow.
But you got to travel all over the country in order to find pieces.
On train, right?
On pieces.
All right.
Stuff like that. But, you know, like in this one here, we got display, you know, the different types of conductor hats and that from the different railroads, stock certificates and that. And behind here, here's a scale model of the Bessemer caboose.
Oh, wow.
This is the replica of the one that is sitting outside.
Oh my gosh, that's super cool.
And that. So they can come in, take a look, see, and say, okay, here, this is what it's supposed to look out there, and you go outside, and, yeah, it's the same thing.
Awesome. So we were wondering how this was going to work when the train goes by. Cindy, are you still getting us? That's what's kind of cool about being in here. I mean, I'm sure when the grade school kids come through on tours, they probably love that. It just adds so much ambiance. And the floor kind of shakes too when the train goes by. Wow. All right, what else do we have?
Okay. We've got assortment, like I say, we've got assortment of hand tools. Shows you all the different kind of tools they use back in the back shops and stuff like that for before real modern technology came and everything was all done, you know, welders and stuff like that.
Yeah, a machinist's dream. You had to make the tool to go with it.
Make everything fit together.
Wonderful.
On the other side display thing here, we've got, you know, the assortment of different padlocks and keys. We got a matchbook collection.
I think that's really cool.
And that. And,
wow, and, you know, and that's the thing about each case in here is just loaded with, I mean, everything. You've thought of absolutely everything. And I like the way it's all, like as much as you can, it's all who donated it, where it came from. Yeah,
Trying to.
That's very important.
Oh, yes.
We librarians like that, you know.
Oh, yeah. Try to keep a history of who did what and different things in that. Like I said, up along the top, overhead, there's different types of railroad lanterns from the older ones with the kerosene type and that into the modern ones with the batteries. And
I know from American Pickers, I love that show. Do you watch that show?
Oh, yes.
I love it. And they're always looking for
all sorts of goodies.
I know. I love it. They go dig in. I would never do that. But they always find a lot of lanterns. And
and stuff like that. They find the different signs that are up on the top.
Yeah, they like their signs, too.
They like the signs.
Wow.
From the different railroads and stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah, there's just so much to look at.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the old sharpening stone from over in the shops. You know, you got to go ahead and sharpen your chisels and stuff like that back up after you use them.
Oh, that's interesting, too.
And that. And yes, like we were discussing, the round radiator.
I love this. This is insane. I've never seen anything like it.
And that, along with an actual still working and fairly accurate scale that still works for a penny.
Really? Well, I'm not going to be getting on that today for Library Line. Oh, my goodness sakes.
Well, like I say, you know, Conneaut at one time had a trolley system. There is, you know, display of different trolley coins, the different photos and stuff like that. And we even had a gentleman that wrote a book on Erie to Conneaut by trolley.
And the trolley system, I mean, we don't see those the little rails in the roads anymore, but I remember when I was little, I remember them.
Under the pavement.
Yeah,
When they dug up Broad Street, they were still there. There's still some uptown and out on Main Street when they've dug up different things for different projects.
Gosh, I love that. And some of the old postcards that depict that, I mean, those were pretty cool. Look at these stopwatches.
No, it was a railroad watch. Every conductor and engineer had their own watches because they are all pretty accurate because the trains always had to leave on time and get there on time.
Absolutely.
And that.
Wow, wonderful.
And that. But over in the corner here, the Ashtabula Bridge disaster.
Yeah.
Back from the 1800s. And,
1876?
I was thinking right around 1860s, I think it was, but I wasn't sure. I'm not a I'm not a good historian.
Hey,
on
we'll
that
look it up.
aspect.
We're the librarians. We can look it up.
And that, but I do have one on staff that is a librarian.
Oh, and we
Andy
know.
Pachotko.
We know our Andy. Yes, yes.
And Andy is very, very knowledgeable about most of this stuff. Andy did a presentation on some of the stuff there, and used some of the artifacts from here for his presentation and stuff.
Well, I'm right, everybody. It is 1876, by the way. Just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably got a date right on the paper. It's there.
Oh, but you know, this is very intriguing. I've actually been to Ashtabula to look at the site, and you know, everyone's always hoping to find something when they go down.
Bits and
You know.
pieces. Oh yes.
But no, it's just it's such an interesting part in our history. Certainly, there's a lot of people that are very intrigued by this.
Oh yes. The same way with these bigger pictures here. This is just 4 of the photos from the accident out here at the state line.
Oh, really?
Where
Horrific.
a piece of steel or something came loose on one of the freight trains and took out the freight train and a passenger train and another freight train.
Wow. Wow.
And that. And we've got other photos that we don't have on display, but they're smaller ones in that for
Amazing.
showing bodies on the ground and people carrying live sheep away and stuff like that. And
Well, I mean, and it's nice that there are some people obviously that are collectors of this, but it ends up back here at the museum
it's
where it
nice
belongs.
it ends up back here.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's very important.
That's
and
what we're looking at.
And what about like copies? Would you take somebody's copy of a photo? Does it have to be the original?
It doesn't have to be the original
Okay.
photo. And
Okay.
that we take copies. We've had somebody went ahead and come in here and actually made some copies of some of the stuff that we have.
Okay,
and
okay,
that they
that's
use
nice.
in
That's
different
nice.
books and stuff like
Okay,
that.
yeah, we like that. We like that certainly.
And like I
Wow.
say, this one here is a garden engine, and that was donated by a lady. And that,
Super cool.
And, her husband that passed away, and she's figured this would be a good place for it to end up at.
Yeah, and I hope again our viewers remember that this is the place where it should go. All right, we're going to continue on. Cindy, can you still find us?
One of the other things is the Hewlett display from down Dock Company and that. This is depicts the old Hewlett system and that before everything got changed over to modernization.
Wow.
There was a lot of people that worked on these things, and to sit there and be down here on top, just by basically about sitting on top of this bucket when you're actually going in there to
And
get
you
that
know, the
stuff
thing
out.
is, they're scary monsters. I mean, they're
Oh,
huge.
yeah. You're looking 200 tons.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And it's, you know, just a man-made machine. I
Right.
love it. I love it. I think it's just so unique.
And that.
Wow.
Then back in the corner.
Can you still see us? Nope, we can't see.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe we better do a cut and come back over here. We got too much to look at. One more time?
one more time.
All right. All right, what do we have?
Okay, back in the corner here, this is basically all we have on Bessemer. And surprisingly enough, we don't have that much Bessemer stuff. We're always looking for stuff from the Bessemer anymore.
Okay, okay.
Because as you see, it only, it covers 2 cases, and Conneaut was one of the main focal points.
Wow. What are these little coins on these straps here?
Those are different medallion pieces they won. Those are from the awards and stuff like that, like engineer and stuff
Oh,
like
really? Okay. That's interesting.
that. Like I said, even the HO train display, HO train, the bigger cars and stuff like that. And down below here is the steam whistle.
Oh, everybody loves those.
And so.
Wow. Wow. You know, you do have a lot of things in here, but it looks like, I mean, you have room for more. You could always take, you would never say no to anybody,
No,
right?
I don't say no to anything.
Okay.
I keep accepting stuff all the time. We keep trying to figure out, okay, if I get this, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with it?
And that's part of your job too. If somebody brings
Figuring
something
out
in,
what to do,
Okay.
where to put it,
Okay.
and stuff like that. Over here, this nice piece here is all handmade.
Are you kidding me?
The gentleman that made that is now deceased, but he worked for the railroad, and in his spare time he made this, and he made a side paddle wheeler.
Wow.
And,
Wow. And we have
but
here.
you can go ahead, and if you hitch this up to compressed air, it'll run down a set of tracks.
That's funny. And your coal shovel, huh?
Oh yes, different types of coal shovels. They've got different.
People collect these too, right?
Oh, if it's railroad related,
I've seen that before.
If it's got the initials of a specific railroad in, there's someone out there that collects it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
And one of the pieces right behind you here is one of the. It's not railroad related.
What?
No, it's a time clock. It's an old-fashioned.
I need one of these at the library, right?
It's an old-fashioned time clock.
You are kidding me.
No.
I love it. I love it so much, I can't even tell you.
Yeah, Worcester, Massachusetts, the Norton Company.
Wow, and it's writing on this on this roll.
On the big scroll.
And then on the inside, everybody, I can see through a window, and it has the days of the week, and then the mechanism, and then it's printing on a roll, almost like an old
Adding machine tape.
Yeah, yeah.
Just keeps constantly printing on it.
Wow. So yeah, this is something really unique.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, I just love it.
Like I said, it's something different, and it's something that you ask the kids, find something that's not railroad related. That's in here.
Yeah, yeah. And so what do kids like the most? When you see the grade school children come through here, what are they really intrigued about?
They want to be on the train.
They want to be on the train.
Cars.
Oh. Well, we are fortunate to have this museum, and obviously the kids see the trains, all the time. But very rarely do people ride on trains. It's hard to find a younger person that has, right?
Well, it depends. Like I say, if they're railroad enthusiasts, there's different places you can go to. Within an hour drive, you can go to Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Line. Go for a ride. You can go out here to AC and J and Jefferson.
That's true. That's true.
You go for a couple-mile ride. And,
wow.
They have different train systems. They go ahead and they even bring in a little small steam engine every once in a while out there at AC and J.
That's cool.
And to run on the tracks.
All right. What are your hours here?
We're open 7 days a week, noon till 5.
Wow. Well, how many museums are open 7 days a week? How many anything is open 7 days a week?
Usually most of the museums in the county, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so you're very fortunate.
So we're fortunate enough that we got enough bodies so far.
Now, could somebody volunteer here?
Oh yeah, we're always looking for volunteers to help out. Like I said, I've got a lot of painting projects that need done, a lot of stuff like that needs done. So, like I said, we're always looking for people to help out.
Wow. Well, so anybody, if you're watching, this would be the place to help out. It's super cool and a lot of fun. And wow, thank you for having us. This has been great. And I'll definitely be back. Bring your relatives too. Your friends, people come in and visit. Yes. Oh, this would be the place to go.
Yep. And quite a few of them bring Grandpa along because Grandpa usually tells them stories about when he worked for the railroad.
Yeah. What does it cost to come here?
This doesn't cost anything. Donations.
So when people come in, if they just like to give you a donation,
make a donation.
Keep the lights on, right?
Yeah, helps pay the bills and stuff like that.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. It's free. It's open 7 days a week, and it's right here in Conneaut. You can't ask for more. This is great.
You can't.
All right,
like
thanks.
I said, you may find something that one of your relatives donated here.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
Find them in a picture. You never know. Oh my gosh.
Because I've had different people looking and say, wait a minute, I didn't realize Uncle so-and-so was here. And they start looking for more pictures.
That's great. That's great. Ron, thank you.
Okay. You have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Hi, it's Vicki with Weird and Wacky Conneaut History. Now today's bit comes from my own family research. When I was researching my husband's side of the family, I found a story of the death of his great-grandfather who worked for the nickel plate. He was working in the boiler shop right over in that direction and was working on a boiler, and the boiler was on a trestle, and the trestle was hanging over a railroad car. Well, they decided they needed to move that railroad car, which was filled with scrap iron, and attach it to a train. So they were pushing the car out of the boiler shop and trying to get it to couple with another car attached to a train. Well, it wouldn't couple. I guess it must take some force in order to have them couple. So they told the engine to back the car up so that it would couple with the one in the boiler house. But Unfortunately, when they were pushing it back, his great-grandfather, Sherman Gibbs, was between the pieces of iron and the trestle. The foreman tried to warn him, but it was too late. His head was already crushed between a piece of iron and the trestle. He died instantly, not uttering a sound. It was a tragic accident. But this was only the second fatal accident they'd ever had at the boiler shop. And for his funeral, they closed the whole shop, and 100 employees from the nickel plate attended a memorial service for him, plus 50 foresters and 58 other, I remember, firemen attended his memorial service. He was survived by 2 small children, one of which was my husband's grandfather. So that's my weird and wacky story this week.
Hi, I'm Kat.
And Kathy
At the movies. Today we're talking about the movie Unstoppable, and look at our background. This is a 98-minute action thriller rated PG-13 starring Denzel Washington about an unmanned half-mile-long freight train carrying toxic chemicals barreling towards a city. Production was headquartered in Pittsburgh, and the Allegheny and West Virginia Railroad is headquartered there. Filming took place in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. The real-life bridge and elevated curve in the film is located in Bel Air, Ohio. The locomotives used for the runaway train were leased from the Canadian Pacific Railroad. Others were leased from the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railroad. The inspiration for this film was taken from a real incident in 2001 called the Crazy Eight's Unmanned Train Incident, where the train led by CSX Transportation left its Walbridge, Ohio rail yard and began a 66-mile journey through the northwestern Ohio with no one at the controls, just like the movie. This train was also carrying phenol, a toxic ingredient. Attempts to derail it failed. Police were unable to shoot out the fuel release valve, and for 2 hours it traveled at speeds up to 51 miles per hour until a crew of a second train coupled onto the runway and slowly applied its brakes. Once the runway slowed to 11 miles per hour, a CSX employee ran alongside, climbed aboard, shutting down the locomotive. The train was stopped in Kenton, Ohio, and no one was seriously injured.
And I agree with Kat. It's wonderful being here in front of the Railroad Museum. My husband's a railroader. If you ever take a tour of the museum, you should be able to find his name in there somewhere. Because I am married to a railroader, trains is a topic that is dear to my heart. I especially love movies that have trains in them. It's hard for us to imagine a time when hopping a train was a common form of transportation, especially today when we drive our cars or book a flight to get where we're going. But before all that, people took the train, and because we once relied on the railroad to get from place to place, film and trains would inevitably meet. Over a century ago, in 1908, Edwin Porter made an 11-minute film called The Great Train Robbery. Audiences were riveted to the screen, and many believed that the train was coming right out of the screen at them. This was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. Filmmakers the world over use the image of the train to symbolize many things: hope, despair, alienation, progress. We find trains in dramatic movies, setting the tone for what is to come. Who can forget Hitchcock's 1959 North by Northwest? Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint huddled over a dining car table deep in conversation, the scenery rushing past them through the window behind them. Or Farley Granger's character planning murder with a perfect stranger in 1951's Strangers on a Train. And we all know that that film inspired DeVito and Billy Crystal in a comedy called Throw Mama from the Train. I can hardly recall a Western that doesn't have a train in it. 3:10 to Yuma, Once Upon a Time in the West, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Crime, drama, Western, comedy, and here I would be remiss if I did not mention my husband's favorite movie of all time, Blazing Saddles. Then there are the war movies, the prisoners crammed on trains headed for death camps in Schindler's List, or Von Ryan's Express, where Frank Sinatra tries to free the British soldiers from a Nazi train ride to hell. Kids, too, enjoy the lore of the train, whether it's the Hogwarts Express from Harry Potter or the remarkable imagery that's in Van Allsburg's Polar Express. So many great films, I've only scratched the surface. Today's movie, Unstoppable, and I did watch it with my husband, who gave me running dialogue all through the movie, how you can't do that, and that doesn't really happen. But besides all that, it was a well-made action thriller. It had a great cast. It was done with good direction and based on a story that was ripped out of the headlines. All that said, I pretty much forgot I'd seen the movie 20 minutes after I popped it out of my DVD player. But I do remember a scene with a great train crash in the movie Super 8. If you haven't seen the movie, put it on your must-see list, because that's a movie you'll never forget if you're looking for a train movie. Thank you very much. Bye.
And don't forget, we have train magazines too. And if you pick this up, there's more under here.
Welcome to Kids Corners. Well, if you didn't know, we're already halfway around the world with summer reading program, One World, Many Stories. We visited Finland, Ireland, and this week we are visiting Italy. We've been tasting food, we've been singing songs, we have been reading folk tales, seeing shadow plays. It has been great fun, and we still have 2 countries to go. But we also have a big ending with an international bazaar on August 4th, Thursday evening from 5 to 7 at the Conneaut Human Resources Center. We are going to have all the kids up on stage. They'll be doing a performance from different countries. We're going to have kind of this impromptu puppet show with the volunteers to Amore by Dean Martin. And we're also going to have a shadow play, Tiki Tiki Tembo. And it's going to be great fun. You can bring your dinner. We will provide a drink, dessert, and a bag of chips, and the entertainment. What more can you ask for? So we hope you are all invited to come to the International Family Bazaar Picnic on August 4th at the Human Resources Center from 5 to 7. Right now, we're in a kind of a different place. I don't know if you noticed, but Pam and I are not at the Conneaut Public Library. We're in a caboose.
We are in a caboose.
And we have some friends with us today. Miss Pam, could you find out who our friends are?
Do you want to tell me your name and where you're from?
Jared from Kingsville.
Kingsville. And how about you?
I'm from Madison, Ohio, and my name's Savannah.
I'm going to ask your sister, but if she doesn't say her name, will you tell it for us? Okay. Do you want to tell us what your name is, sweetie? She's busy looking. Would you like to talk in the microphone, tell your name? Did you get that?
Sissy can do.
Do you want to say it?
Her name's Sydney. She lives with me.
Sydney, how old are you?
She's
2. And how old are you?
5.
5. And how about you?
7.
7. So we got all kinds of ages, too.
Well, we are at the Conneaut Historical Railroad Museum. We're in their caboose today, and we're going to do our book tease from this situation. It's going to be great fun. So without further ado, oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, I caught him. Oh, my gracious.
Can you hold it?
Look what I found. Oh, Miss Pam, do I like mice or do I like mice?
She loves mice, and she knows mice-anese.
What? Excuse me?
See, he's talking to her right now.
Your name is Tom? They've written a story about you? About a great train adventure? Oh, my. Is this the book on my lap? You want me to read part of it? All right, if you want me to, Miss Pam, could you take him?
Will.
The name of our book tease today, our story, is Tom Mouse by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Looks good.
I love stories about mice, and how fortunate was I to find a story about a mouse who takes an adventure on a train. Looks like a train station here. I'm going to show the kids.
Sort of looks like here.
Reading. Tom Mouse grew up in a hole in the wall of the diner in the station. His family was content with their cozy nest and the donut crumbs and bits of bacon they picked up in the diner. But Tom watched the great trains come into the station and leave again, and he wished he could go with them. An old hobo rat who rode the freight train stopped off one day, and he talked to Tom. "Yeah, all you have to do," he said, "is hop a ride on a boxcar and you're off. From Chicago to San Francisco and back again. You're free as the wind."
Oh, here comes a train.
Wow. Sounds like we're really in the story. And all alone and on your own. So Tom put a donut crumb and a bit of bacon in his cheek pocket, kissed his family goodbye, and set out to be free as the wind.
So he's going for a trip on a train. Yes. You saw him?
Saw him? He scurried across the flat platform and down onto the tracks and across them, trying to keep in shadows and under cross ties. As he crossed one of the great steel tracks, it trembled. Feeling the train coming a mile away, Tom crouched by the end of a cross tie. He looked down the track and thought, San Francisco. He looked up the track and thought, Chicago. The thunder of the train shook everything. The huge wheels came past, slowed down, and stopped.
It's his chance to get on the train. Chugga, chugga.
Tom ran forward. He climbed up a wheel. He leaped to the step of an opening door, and quick as a wink, he was inside. "Look for a boxcar," the hobo rat had told him, but Tom in his hurry hadn't looked at all. Now he crouched very small in a corner and wondered where he was. Feet were going by just the way they did in the diner and the station. Feet in shoes, high heels, low shoes, Mary Jane's tennis shoes. The train was full of people, all putting their luggage onto the racks and sitting in seats by big windows. Where could a mouse hide? Before him were narrow, twisting stairs. No feet were going up and down them. He skittered right up the stairs and then along a narrow corridor till he saw through an open door a room with nobody sitting in it. Just inside the door was a tall, thin closet, all made of metal, with slots near the floor to let air inside. The car porter was coming down the corridor, his big, black, shiny shoes thumping up right behind Tom's tail. Tom squeezed through the air vent into the closet and crouched there in the dark, his heart pounding, his whiskers shivering.
Oh. There he is. It looks like he's on a car with all the people, doesn't it?
He's trying to find a place to hide. "All aboard!" the conductor shouted outside the car. All on my own and all alone, Tom thought, and when the train began a little jerk and slid forward, he nearly burst into tears. After a long time, he got up his courage and he ventured out of the closet. He climbed up onto the seat and onto the shelf under the window and put his little paws on the glass. He gazed at the world. The beautiful hills and trees and clouds flew by. A little town and a tall grain silo flew by. Everything flew by and was gone. "I'm free," said Tom to himself. "I'm a world traveler." He felt lonely. He felt very lonely. But he ate his crumb and his bit of bacon, and he was brave. The hills grew dark and vanished into the darkness. The stars shone out. The stars flew along with the train, always forward into the night. And Tom, watching at the wind, called the stars his friends because they traveled with him. And if you would like to read more about Tom Mouse and his adventure aboard this train, stop in the Conneaut Public Library and pick up that book, Tom Mouse. And now, before we go, Miss Pam has a craft we found online. It's so simple.
All it is a toilet paper roll.
Well, actually, you could use a toilet paper roll.
Oh,
But
this is a
Well, it's a little bit bigger. Paper towel roll.
But this works really
Yes.
cool.
And then just took a piece of construction paper and rolled it over to make it look pretty.
Or you could paint it.
Yeah, you could even put designs on it if you wish. Train designs would be perfect. And then you poke a little hole in it so that the sound can come out. And this is wax paper and a rubber band. And then you can make your train noise. I'll let you guys try it if you'd like.
Let me try, Miss
You
Pam.
try? Wow, it's loud when she does. You want to try it?
Come on over. Go ahead, try it. Whoa, let your sissy try. You want to try it?
No. She does.
Okay.
Good
You
job.
can try. You want to try it, babe?
Want to do it?
Yeah, she does. Go ahead,
You can
take
do it. No?
Okay.
No, it's not.
Well,
Okay.
on 3, let's do our very best
Ready? Let's do our
imitation.
trains.
Chugga chugga.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Library Lunacy, or should I say, welcome to the Conneaut Historical Railroad Museum. I am so excited. Today's my first day volunteering here at the museum. I can't wait to meet some new people. Broaden my circle of friends, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the company of Lionel and, well, Lulu May, too, as long as the wind is blowing the right way. Speaking of wind, what a lovely, gentle breeze is blowing through the museum. Ah, the beautiful smell of summer. You can't beat it. Yeah, what is that stench?
Hi, Mortimer. What are you doing here?
Hi, Lulu May. I started volunteering here at the museum today. You think you could stand on the other side of me? The breeze is blowing through those stinky toes of yours, and the smell is making me gag.
Oh, you are ridiculous, rodents. What you smell is the mud pack infused with natural fish oils that I had on my feet this morning. My feet are as soft as a baby's bottom. Here, feel for yourself.
Oh, yeah, no thanks. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And just what are you doing here at the museum?
Well, I'm volunteering my time here at the Conneaut Historical Railroad Museum, too. Today is my first day.
You have got to be kidding me. Oh, I can't escape you. Oh, well, maybe we can both make some new friends.
Ooh, little red caboose, little red caboose, little red caboose behind the train. What are you two doing here? I decided to volunteer here so I could meet some new people. No offense, but you two are starting to seem like company after 3 days.
Well, we're volunteering too. And just what do you mean, like company after 3 days?
Well, there's a saying, company like fish begin to stink after 3 days.
Oh, no, that's Lulu May's feet you smell. She packed them in mud and fish oil to make them soft.
And it really works. Here, feel how soft my toes are.
Oh.
Oh, come on, for heaven's sakes. You boys are so melodramatic and smell sensitive, too, I might add.
Oh, great. Now he's fainting. How are we going to revive Lionel?
Oh, how about throwing a cold bucket of water over his head?
Oh, that would make a mess all over the museum floor.
Oh, I guess you have a point.
I know what'll make him wake up. He just loves to hear a train whistle like this. Woo,
Ooh, what happened? Was that a train whistle I heard?
It worked. Well, you passed out because Lulu May's feet stink so bad.
Oh, please.
Hey, that train whistle I did gave me an idea. Whenever customers come in, we could greet them by doing train whistles all together in unison.
That's a good idea. Let's practice. Arms up.
Okay.
Wait, excuse me, did you say arms up?
Well, you really need to put your arm up in the air to do a good train whistle, Lulu May.
Oh, says you.
Excuse me?
And me.
And me.
Oh, well, what do you know? What do you know? I mean, come on. You fainted because of my feet. I mean, really.
Could you direct me to the miniature train display?
Oh, not now. Can't you see that we are busy?
Well, it would be much more effective if all three of us do the exact same thing when we do the train whistle to greet people.
Pardon me?
Did you hear what Lulu May said? We are a little busy right now trying to decide how we can greet customers.
Well, if that's the way you boys want it, fine. I'm out of here. I'll see what else can be done around here.
Now look what you've done.
Me? You were the one who fainted.
Well,
I guess I can find a miniature train display on my own.
What did he say?
I don't know. But now you made a potential customer leave.
Me? You and Lulu May were the ones who were rude to him.
Oh, sure. Blame it on Lulu May and me.
Oh, you disgust me.
No, you.
Oh, here's the display I've been looking for. I could spend hours just standing here watching all this.
What was that? We better go check.
I don't know. Let's go.
Oh, for crying out loud. What is Lulu May doing now?
Beats me.
Oh, for crying out loud, I'm telling you.
Hi, boys. I found something I can do that doesn't require arms. See you later. I've got a trained engineer. Well, that wraps up another library line all about trains from right here at our very own train museum. And, you know, we've been here for a while. You've been watching the show, so you know. And I have to tell you, we haven't even made a dent in what is here. So I encourage everyone out there in Conneaut and beyond that this is a wonderful trip, a wonderful way to spend a day or two because there is so much to see. And I assure you, the kids will love it. Plus, you never know who you're going to run into, and you might even add a little bit to your own history lesson for the day. But anyway, I've got to go because I'm going to spend a little bit more time, and they even let me behind the counter, so I'm going to snoop around back here. We've been everywhere else, so I'm going to take a look back here and see what I find. So thank you for watching, and please, please, please check out our beautiful train museum.